Just a word up front. We've got a long passage today, but it all hangs together, and I really don't think, for meaning's sake, we should separate it. So I'm going to jump right in here. John chapter 6, verse 41. At this, Jesus saying he was the bread of life. At this, the Jews there began to grumble about him because he said, I am the bread that came down from heaven. They said, Is this not Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How can you say, I came down from heaven? Stop grumbling among yourselves, Jesus answered. Verse 44, No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws them, and I will raise them up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, they will all be taught by God. Everyone who has heard the Father and learned from him comes to me. No one has seen the Father except the one who is from God. Only he has seen the Father. So just a quick aside, Jesus is making a pretty exclusive claim. It's me, or really nobody else when you think about it. And the God of the universe is going to lead you to me. Excuse me. Very truly, I tell you, the one who believes has eternal life. I am the bread of life. Your ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness, yet they died. But here is the bread that comes down from heaven, which anyone may eat and not die. I am the living bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats this bread will live forever. This bread is my flesh, which I will give for the world. Then the Jews began to argue sharply among themselves. How can this man give us his flesh to eat? Jesus said to them, Very truly I tell you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Jesus is going to explain that. Let's keep going. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise them up at the last day. For my flesh is real food, and my blood is real drink. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood, and here it is, remains in me, and I in them. Just as the living Father sent me, and I live because of the Father, so the one who feeds on me will live because of me. This is the bread that came down from heaven. Your ancestors ate manna and died. But whoever feeds on this bread will live forever. He said this while teaching in the synagogue in Capernaum. So, verse 56, Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood remains in me. So it is about remaining in him and taking him into ourselves and internalizing him. The saying is, you are what you eat, right? And that's the idea here that Jesus is getting at. And we also know, which these guys don't at this point, that Jesus is going to die on the cross. He's going to give his literal flesh and blood for humankind. On hearing it, many of the disciples said, This is a hard teaching, who can accept it? Aware that his disciples were grumbling about this, Jesus said to them, Does this offend you? Then what if you see the Son of Man ascend to where he was before? The Spirit gives life, the flesh counts for nothing. The words I have spoken to you, they are full of the Spirit and life. Yet there are some of you who do not believe. For Jesus had known from the beginning which of them did not believe and who would betray him. He went on to say, This is why I told you that no one can come to me unless the Father has enabled him. So he's trying to open their eyes here. What if you see the Son of Man ascend to where he was before? Hey guys, this is all spiritual. You're dealing with realities that are beyond your experience. So you need to open your minds and realize, I think Jesus is saying here, that I am speaking in earthly terms, but it's about heavenly stuff. And so if you don't understand, you need to go to the Father, who he said was just the one who was going to teach them, and say, hey, I don't get this. What is Jesus getting at here? And seek answers from that. The flesh counts for nothing, he says in verse 63. You guys are fretting over the flesh, okay? Yeah, it's going to be me actually dying, which I know you don't understand yet, but you have to understand that this is going to cause a spiritual change in you. Taking in the truth of the cross is going to cause a spiritual change in you, because the Spirit gives life. The flesh counts for nothing. Okay? This is tough teaching. Verse 66, continuing on. From this time, many of his disciples turned back and no longer followed him. So, yeah, tough stuff. In fact, 67, you do not want to leave too, do you? Jesus asked the 12. Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. We have come to believe and to know that you are the Holy One of God. Jesus replied, have I not chosen you, the 12? Yet one of you is a devil. He meant Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, who, though one of the 12, was later to betray him. So very tough teachings. Jesus is trying to set them up for the cross, so that when they pass through that experience with him, that they can understand that his death is part of the plan, and that they need to identify with him in his death. We need to identify with him in his death. What does that mean? Well, we're going to see more as we go along. I know I covered a lot of verses rather quickly there, but it all hung together. I didn't see any way to break it apart. Hope this was helpful for you this morning.